Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a fascinating journey to Thailand. We're exploring a really interesting question. Can culinary tourism, its growth, actually be a sustainable recipe for making Thai cuisine, a true global phenomenon by 2030? We've got a detailed research paper as our guide here, really digging into the significance of this whole idea and, well, the strategies they're considering.
Right.
Our goal really is to pull out the essential insights, the key ingredients, you could say, for anyone who's curious about this mix of food, travel, and, well, national ambition.
It's a really compelling vision, yeah.
Yeah.
And the paper points out straight away that Thailand isn't like starting from zero here.
No, definitely not.
It already has this deeply rooted culinary tradition, incredible regional variations, and of course that worldwide recognition for the signature balance of flavors: sweet, sour, salty, spicy, bitter, and the fresh herbs, obviously.
Absolutely. And it's not like this cuisine just appeared out of nowhere, right? The paper really highlights influences from, wow, a whole range of neighbors. China, Cambodia, Laos, Indonesia, India, Malaysia.
Even Portugal and South Korea are mentioned.
Exactly. It's a genuine fusion cuisine. It really showcases centuries of, cultural exchange and adaptation. And that historical connection actually gives Thailand something quite unique to market globally, doesn't it?
It does. And what's also really striking is the sort of cultural philosophy behind Thai food.
Yeah.
The paper emphasizes these almost like foundational principles, things like enjoy discovering the taste of good foods, share food with loving kindness, find joy in cooking, and establish happiness at a dining table.
Wow.
These aren't just, nice sayings. They're presented as core values, things taught to kids, shaping how generations relate to food.
That really paints a picture. Okay, so in this deep dive, we're going to cover quite a few key areas. We'll start with the cultural significance of Thai food, how it's seen around the world right now. Then we'll get into the crucial part, sustainable practices. And also the exciting new trends popping up in culinary tourism.
Yeah, things are definitely changing there.
We'll also look at the government's role, their marketing efforts, and, importantly, the impact all this has on local communities, their lives, their work.
And finally, opportunities and inevitably the challenges ahead.
Exactly. So get ready, because we're about to dive deep into Thai culinary tourism.
Okay, let's start with why Thai cuisine is, such a big deal in this context. The paper rightly says food tourism is a rapidly growing area globally. And it's more than just like grabbing a bite while you're traveling. Culinary tourism is really about immersing yourself in the local food, the regional tastes, the whole food scene as, well, part of the culture.
Exactly. It's an experience, right? Nourishes more than just the body. And when you look at Thai cuisine's roots, gosh, they're incredibly diverse. As we said, it's a real melting pot. Influences from so many places.
China, Cambodia, Laos, Indonesia, India, Malaysia, Mongolia, Myanmar, Portugal, South Korea, Vietnam. The list is pretty long.
It really is.
And the paper actually gives credit to several historical figures, Kings Rama II, 4th, 5th, and 6th, for actively sort of blending these influences. It wasn't just passive. It seems like a deliberate effort to cultivate this diverse food scene.
Which gives it that historical depth we mentioned.
Exactly. Resulting in Thailand becoming, as paper puts it, a melting pot of regional cuisine, backed by that famous Thai hospitality and cultural diversity.
It's fascinating how food and society are just so intertwined. The research even suggests Thai cuisine might play a role in fostering politeness and, those positive social interactions, sharing food, preparing it together.
Yeah, the cooperation needed, maybe. That makes sense. This also brings up an interesting point about how Thai food has changed over time.
Oh, how so?
Well, the paper touches on the shift from traditional, often really labor-intensive cooking methods to more modern, industrial, sort of commercial production.
Right, for wider access.
Yeah, which makes it more accessible, definitely. But it's important not to lose sight of the authentic roots. Interestingly, though, despite this shift, Thailand still ranks really highly globally in agri-products, food processing, and food services.
And the words Thai and Thai food are basically understood everywhere.
Absolutely, speaks volumes about its impact.
Which really does. So let's go a bit deeper into that cultural significance. It's clear from our source that food is way more than just, fuel. It's woven into lifestyles, customs, traditions.
Precisely. Food acts as a powerful social glue, doesn't it? a natural platform for connection. I mean, think about how many interactions happen around a table: family meals, business deals.
It's where people connect, share stories.
And it goes beyond just the meal itself.
Yep.
The paper emphasizes food as a carrier of identity, of belonging. It can even, trigger that strong sense of home for people living abroad.
That idea of food curing homesickness is quite powerful.
It is, and the global appeal of Thai food is just undeniable. That harmony of flavors, the beautiful presentation key elements, right?
Definitely. The paper lists those classic ingredients: lemongrass, mint, basil, fish sauce, peanuts, palm sugar, chili, coconut milk. Makes your mouth water just listing them.
It really does, and it spreads so quickly around the world. It often comes across as both super flavorful and, well, relatively healthy, which appeals to a lot of people.
Sure.
But the paper also notes a practical challenge. Those really time-consuming traditional methods like squeezing your own coconut milk or grinding curry paste from scratch.
Yeah, that takes ages.
Right. That can sometimes limit how many truly authentic, upscale Thai places you find in the fast-paced global restaurant scene. It's a tough balance between tradition and, well, practicality.
Makes total sense in a commercial setting. But despite that, various agencies are actively pushing eating as a central, appealing part of the Thai tourist experience. They clearly see the draw.
Which leads us nicely into how Thai cuisine is perceived globally. Our source highlights that food is increasingly seen as a primary reason for choosing a destination. And Thailand's definitely leaning into this.
You can see why.
Thai food has built this international reputation for unique taste, freshness, variety, those amazing herbs, and often just how beautiful it looks on the plate.
And people everywhere seem more interested in food culture now, right?
Yeah,
That desire for authentic experiences seems stronger.
definitely. We've even seen fast food Thai chains popping up globally, even in places like Japan, which is known for its own amazing food culture. That says a lot about its mainstream appeal.
It really does. A big indicator of acceptance.
So Thailand is increasingly recognized specifically as a top culinary destination. Food isn't just a bonus anymore. It's becoming a key factor in why people choose to go there.
Which means they really need to understand what international travelers actually think about Thai food, right? The paper stresses the value of looking at online conversations, reviews, recommendations.
Absolutely. To really get a handle on global tastes regarding Thai food, analyzing what people are saying online gives tourism folks invaluable insights.
Instead of just looking at the destination overall, really zoning in on the food, that core product seems super valuable for planning.
Exactly. It helps tailor strategies and what they offer.
Okay, so Thailand has this incredible culinary heritage, massive global appeal. But the key word in making this sustainable and global by 2030, as our paper really hammers home, is sustainable. Promoting sustainable food practices is crucial.
Totally. The paper points out that Thailand's natural environment, all that vegetation, beautiful scenery, gives it a really strong starting point for this.
Right.
And in line with WHO guidelines, there's been a big push to encourage farming vegetables, herbs, fruit, and also fish culture across many areas.
And there are actual policies supporting this too.
Yes, our source mentions specific initiatives, things aimed at promoting sustainable food systems, creating healthier urban food environments, and really encouraging sorting and recycling food waste under something called the AHARE initiative.
Okay, so policies for sustainable food systems and waste.
Exactly. Plus, municipalities in Thailand have committed to a zero-waste target. But the paper is also realistic. It notes that meeting emission reduction goals by 2030 is still a challenge. And food waste habits among regular citizens, well, they still need quite a bit of improvement.
It really highlights that need to understand what's actually happening on the ground first, before you can create strategies that really work, doesn't it?
Definitely. You need a clear picture of the problem. The paper even brings up an interesting business model called the chef concept.
Oh, what's that?
It promotes cooking lessons for tourists, encouraging them to discover the origins of Thai cuisine, but also stressing the link between the food and where it comes from.
Like farm-to-table experiences.
Exactly. Imagine a tourist grinding their own curry paste from fresh, local stuff, then eating the dish right there on the farm. That's the idea. It connects environment, culture, and the food itself.
That's a really smart, engaging way to link tourism and sustainability directly. Okay, let's talk organic farming and local sourcing. Absolutely key parts of a sustainable food system.
Right. The paper notes organic food is getting more popular, mostly because people are more concerned about health.
Makes sense.
And organic farming is growing, especially up in northern Thailand, giving farmers good alternatives. But to really cut down on imports and the risks of chemical farming, they need to actively promote marketing for sustainable farms and get the local community properly involved.
And the benefits seem pretty significant.
Yeah, potentially huge. Better lifestyles, better health for everyone, more economic self-reliance for communities, and support for local products. The focus is on fresh stuff, vegetables, flowers, herbs grown naturally. They even mention potential for growing Chinese herbs organically.
Interesting. So what's needed to make this work long term?
Well, the paper stresses how important organic certification is for farmers and the need to keep improving the standards for some organic products. Also, regular, accessible education for farmers is key on food systems, gardening, nutrition, environmental awareness.
And it's not just about the farming side.
No, the paper also mentions the role of local nutritionists providing guidance, doing assessments in the community. Plus, education programs for tourists who want to learn about healthy Thai food, and for local kids too, building good habits early.
Right. What about things like getting food to market and safety?
Also vital. Decisions about food transport, setting up reliable food testing systems to meet public health standards, even maybe teaching tourists basic food testing skills during cooking lessons. The paper actually suggests including summer food tests in home cooking classes.
Wow. Okay. So it all points towards needing really strong cooperation, coordination, and clear communication at every level, doesn't it? From local communities right up to district offices, health department.
Exactly, to establish new food markets where local residents are actively participating and benefiting.
Which brings us neatly to the really big issue of waste reduction. More tourism inevitably means, well, more waste.
Yeah, the numbers in the paper are pretty sobering. Foreign visitors apparently generate hundreds of thousands of tons of waste each year just in national parks and cultural sites. And the amount per tourist per day is surprisingly high compared to locals.
Oof. So what's the solution?
The paper really pushes for promoting sustainable tourism practices that include ways for people to, say, donate specifically towards reducing negative impacts through waste minimization. If successful, these could be models for other places, too.
And how is waste managed now? Is it consistent?
Not really. Most cities have some collection, but the actual management and reduction strategies vary a lot. Some denser areas have source separation, with food waste going to animal feed, maybe.
Right.
But the problem of uncollected waste and tourist trash just ending up in landfills is still a major challenge.
Okay.
The paper suggests establishing source waste banks as a promising idea for reducing waste volume and managing it better. These are a bit different from typical recycling centers, often handling a wider range of stuff. It also discusses specific strategies for minimizing tourist waste at cultural sites.
Did they test any of these ideas?
They did. The researchers actually held focus groups with residents, vendors, tour operators to see what might work. And a pilot project using a waste bank showed really positive results in cutting down wastage in that community.
That's encouraging.
Very. And for long-term success, the paper strongly emphasizes integrating educational programs for local students and tourists right into how the waste banks operate. Simple things like painting the collection carts nicely or running engaging activities apparently really boost participation.
So it takes a bit of everything: policy, community buy-in, education, to really tackle the waste issue from tourism. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and look at some of the trends shaping culinary tourism itself. What's emerging?
Well, it's definitely a field that's growing and changing fast. It's attracting more adventurous travelers, people actively looking for authentic cultural and natural experiences, and they're seeing local ingredients as the key to unlocking that.
So it's less about just finding food and more about food being the main reason for the trip.
Increasingly, yes. People are choosing destinations specifically to experience the food culture, to really immerse themselves in it.
And it's not just taste, right? It's bigger than that.
Much bigger. It includes the cultural, ethnic, historical side of things, offering these really unique, immersive experiences. It's about engaging with the everyday food of a place, appreciating its unique taste and how it's presented.
Providing those maybe exotic food moments, but also learning opportunities, like cooking classes, farm visits.
Exactly. And our source also points to the growing importance of green consumption and sustainability. These values are increasingly influencing where travelers choose to go and what they do.
That fits with the global awareness around conservation and using local products responsibly.
Right. And as tourist numbers rise globally, tackling resource issues and pollution becomes even more critical. Protecting the environment and archaeological sites is fundamental for sustainable tourism anywhere.
So the paper suggests weaving sustainability right into food tours. focusing on local produce, environmental awareness.
Yes, exactly. Promoting local ingredients can really deepen a tourist's appreciation for what makes Thai cuisine special. The smells, the flavors.
And pushing local produce isn't just good for the environment. It supports the local economy more fairly and means better quality food, too.
Precisely. It benefits everyone involved.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, another huge trend impacting all tourism is the global focus on health and wellness. That seems to be booming.
Oh, absolutely. Wellness and health tourism was already growing, but the COVID-19 pandemic really kicked it into high gear. Tourists are much more interested now in travel and experiences that boost their physical, emotional, and mental well-being.
People are actively prioritizing the health aspect of their trips, seeking out health-promoting experiences.
For sure. We see growth in health tourism focusing on specific health benefits and also wellness tourism, which is broader, covering recreation, leisure, self-development type experiences.
And these wellness products cover a huge range now, things tourists buy to feel better while traveling.
Definitely. And Thailand, as the paper notes, is already a major wellness tourism destination in Asia.
So this seems like a massive opportunity for Thai cuisine, right? With its focus on fresh ingredients, balanced flavors, it could really tap into that health-conscious tourist market.
Exactly. It has huge potential to enhance health and wellness offerings, attracting even more of those travelers. The paper mentions specific strategic projects aiming to build health and wellness tourism in Thailand by combining Thai food principles with wellness practices.
With the goal of boosting the economy and making Thai food global by 2030.
Right. The Tourism Authority of Thailand apparently spotted this potential early on, seeing health and wellness tourism as having high recovery and growth prospects after the pandemic. There's enormous, largely untapped potential in applying Thailand's wellness infrastructure and cuisine for sustainable health advancement globally.
So, leveraging the health side of Thai food could be a really effective strategy to attract that growing group of health-conscious tourists and strengthen Thailand's position in the global wellness market.
Absolutely. It's a natural fit.
Now, beyond health, the way people experience food is changing too. There seems to be more emphasis on creating, engaging, memorable dining experiences.
Definitely. Experiential food consumption is about making culinary tourism more interactive. It involves participation from everyone: hosts, customers, food providers. Even a simple restaurant can become a place for real interaction around eating, maybe even food prep, revealing local hospitality.
So the focus shifts beyond just taste to presentation, how it's managed, served, how it connects to a sense of place, whether that's exotic or distinctly local.
Exactly. And participation roles can vary: servers, cooks, consumers, all getting involved. Restaurants are still the main setting for this. But what makes these experiences stand out are things like scenic views, artistic presentation, maybe surprise elements that encourage tasting and conversation.
That element of real conversation during the meal seems key for making it memorable.
Totally. Explaining the food and drinks, the ingredients, cooking methods, even local eating habits to visitors.
And the visual aspect, lots of beautifully presented food.
Often, yes. And the visible effort and skill of the chefs and staff add to the whole atmosphere the element of surprise. These memorable experiences are often action-packed, social, artistic, and tied together with stories or narratives.
It's really about crafting a whole engaging experience way beyond just eating to create those lasting memories for the tourist. Okay, so with all these different factors, what's the government's role in guiding the growth of sustainable culinary tourism in Thailand?
It's absolutely crucial. A guiding hand is needed. Culinary tourism, while growing, is still relatively new globally. It's driven by that desire for local food, immersive experiences, hospitality. It naturally connects with markets, restaurants, festivals, cooking schools.
Right.
And as a source points out, a really successful gastronomic destination needs to tell the story of its cuisine within the context of its landscape, history, culture, religion, its people.
The paper mentions Taiwan as an example.
Yes, a government actively trying to brand itself as a gourmet island by looking at the whole food chain.
So what strategies could Thailand use, according to the paper?
It outlines three main approaches. First, setting up a solid system for registration and quality control of culinary tourism offerings.
Okay, standards.
Second, making sure hospitality services are flexible enough to meet diverse international visitor needs. And third, actively promoting culinary tourism education and training.
And this needs everyone involved to buy in.
Absolutely. All stakeholders need to participate. The paper suggests maybe setting up a national culinary tourism promotion committee, bringing together academics, industry players, professional groups. a collaborative approach.
That makes sense.
There's even a proposal for stakeholders to co-invest in an independent organization to fund promotions and create crisis guidelines. This kind of joint, proactive approach seems essential for managing and promoting culinary tourism effectively nationwide.
So what specific policies has the Thai government actually put in place so far to promote Thai cuisine globally?
Well, the paper notes that back in 2017, the cabinet approved a tourism strategy, a development plan, and an action plan. Then, significantly, in June 2022, Thailand was officially approved as a gastronomic tourism city.
That's a big step.
It is. And the Ministry of Tourism and Sports has put forward plans to promote Thai cuisine as a lifestyle choice, especially post-COVID.
So there's high-level recognition. But the paper also mentioned calls for more concrete action during economic downturns.
Yeah.
Like focusing on unique dishes.
Right. Pushing for plans to really drive Thai food policy forward, highlighting unique features, maybe identifying popular but less consumed dishes with international potential.
And the big goal, lots of Thai restaurants globally by 2030.
Yeah.
Making Thai food a global icon.
That's the ambitious target. And the number of authentic Thai restaurants worldwide is being used as a key measure of success.
How's that looking currently?
Well, the numbers show the scale of the challenge. Around 560 Thai restaurants in 46 countries currently, aiming for over 1,600 by 2030. That needs a really significant accelerated global expansion.
Wow, yeah, that's a big jump. And for that expansion to be sustainable and actually benefit local communities, supporting the artisans and farmers back home seems critical.
Absolutely crucial. The paper really emphasizes that empowering these producers to consistently meet good, internationally recognized standards is key for successful, sustainable culinary tourism.
And government ministries, universities, they have a role here.
A big one. Providing accessible food science expertise, academic help for standardization, offering vital info on processing, packaging, safety, conservation, best practices.
The aim is to get everyone, farmers, fishermen, local producer groups, on the same page regarding quality standards.
Exactly. And forming committees of these local stakeholders lets them tailor things to their own context, their own needs, which helps long-term sustainability.
What about things like World Heritage status? Can that help?
Definitely. Government support in getting that kind of recognition for certain culinary regions or products could significantly boost international visibility. But the paper also stresses the need for ongoing academic support and real community representation in these producer groups.
It's about creating channels for local needs to be heard nationally, facilitating resource sharing, having clear legal policies for cultural food products.
Yes. Outlining government support and community expectations. And these national plans should also guide the international marketing for these unique products.
And maybe having government officers liaise directly with local tourist authorities.
That could really improve communication and avoid misunderstandings, fostering a more collaborative environment locally.
Okay, so with all these background efforts, how is Thailand actually planning to market its food to the world? What's the strategy?
It's a multi-pronged approach, using PR campaigns, targeted online marketing aimed at international travelers and people working abroad.
The idea being to appeal to those already familiar with Thai food, encourage visits, and get them to promote it back home.
Exactly, and a really key part is engaging online marketing influencers. The paper suggests studying prominent travel and food influencers, chefs, building a database for campaigns.
Goes into marketing, right?
Yeah. There's also potential in attracting longer-stay tourists who might create documentary-style content about Thai food, reaching wider audiences, plus highlighting unique desserts, distinctive restaurants, historic places.
Keeping it interesting, showing the variety.
Right. And food advocacy campaigns, partnering with international nonprofits, are seen as part of responsible PR connecting Thai food to social issues like the environment or mental health.
What about things like food roadmaps or testing facilities?
Also mention, plus collaborations with major corporations on recipes, exploring potential for growing Thai spices elsewhere sustainably. And these innovative PR camps, yeah, aimed at mid to upper range participants from global Thai food producers or restaurants, offering in-depth training on complex dishes, hoping to turn them into global promoters, all supported by ongoing online PR to keep the buzz going.
It sounds very comprehensive, hitting multiple angles. And in today's world, a strong digital marketing strategy is obviously non-negotiable.
Absolutely critical. The Thailand Master Plan for 2020-2030 specifically aims to promote the country as a culinary capital, with a special emphasis on halal food options too.
And these marketing approaches are aligned with global goals, like the UN SDGs.
Yes, particularly focusing on sustainable economic growth and responsible consumption. The paper frames culinary tourism marketing itself as a fundamentally green practice, potentially benefiting many stakeholders: hotels, restaurants, suppliers, processors. It also highlights those common Thai cooking methods: stir-frying, deep-frying, steaming, etc., that define its character.
And the Tourism Authority of Thailand, TAT, what's their role?
Providing accurate, comprehensive info about authentic Thai cuisine and culture globally, sort of counteracting all the variations and interpretations out there. The master plan lays out a 10-year strategy: advertising, sales promotions, PR, events, sponsorships, direct marketing, all timed with regional tourism seasons.
The goal being more tourists, more foodies, more revenue from food tourism.
Exactly. And the scope is expanding beyond just Thailand and ASEAN to target Europe, America, Oceania too.
Another really powerful tool these days is collaborating with social media influencers, right?
Huge. Building strong relationships with global influencers is seen as a key, cost-effective strategy to promote Thai cuisine widely. Social media is just dominant now for sharing ideas, experiences, recommendations.
And this benefits smaller places too, not just the big names.
That's the idea. This trend where reviews from trusted opinion leaders matter can really help traditional, smaller, local restaurants get visibility. Food bloggers, chefs recommending places on Instagram to huge followings.
And this is already happening. Influencers promoting Thai food abroad.
The paper says yes, that's already a positive outcome of action plans. The strategy is often to connect with well-known Thai influencers first, then target international ones.
And getting feedback from them is important too.
Seems so, even if they decline to participate. Overall, it's seen as relatively easy and low cost compared to traditional ads. And the sheer variety of Thai food, travel options, flexible timing, it creates lots of opportunities for local influencers.
And this fits with global trends like food trails, theme parks, pop-ups, food film festivals.
Exactly. All driven heavily by social media. The paper also mentions partnering with university research centers for plan development. Thai tourism authorities are looking to weave Thai cuisine into these global trends for PR and marketing.
Getting everyone involved, businesses, communities, media, schools, to work with the TCTA, the Tourism Council, for a unified push.
Right, marketing Thai food and other attractions together.
Now let's turn to a really crucial aspect: the impact all this growth in culinary tourism has on the actual local communities in Thailand.
Yeah, it's becoming much more common across food service and regional tourism businesses. It's basically travel focused on food destinations, with participation in food activities being central.
Often taking tourists to less conventional places to discover local culture through cooking, other food activities.
Exactly. Things like farm stays, cooking schools, culinary tours, special diet courses. These are often seen as more upscale food tourism, even winning awards for innovation.
But there are challenges for the destinations too.
Oh, yeah. Increased demand on resources, more competition for quality experiences, ensuring resource sustainability. And sometimes investors focus more on mass tourism economics than the value of culinary tourism.
But local food is key for sustainable tourism, isn't it? Tourists seem to value locality more now.
They do. That focus on locality helps build a sustainable place identity. It can even lead to locals and tourists enjoying the food in similar ways, building connection.
And the trend for local foods is strong globally, with more focus on sustainability and market expansion.
Definitely. Local foods attract tourists seeking information, but they're also deeply linked to identity, culture, belonging. It's about the story, the origin.
Which naturally brings us to the economic benefits. Clearly, a strong culinary tourism sector can really boost a destination's competitiveness and appeal.
No doubt. A region's food and beverage culture adds hugely to its sense of place, its cultural identity. And Thailand, with its exoticism, tradition, distinctiveness in Southeast Asia, it's perfectly positioned for this. Every region, every ethnic community has potential for unique, memorable food tourism experiences.
And this influences where people choose to go, how destinations develop.
Absolutely. Awareness of the food culture sparks tourism interest. Expecting good culinary experiences impacts behavior where people go, how much they spend.
But success requires collaboration among all the stakeholders.
Essential. Evaluating and developing the food culture increases uniqueness, public awareness, and boosts tourism revenue directly. Plus, ASEAN integration is driving gastronomic tourism within the region too.
But food tourism is complex, right? Needs local knowledge, experimentation, focus on food safety.
Very true. And tourism density varies across ASEAN. Promoting culinary tourism is seen as vital for long-term sustainable value, covering the whole food and beverage culture. Historically, the focus was often just short-term economics.
With less recognition of its potential as a genuinely sustainable approach benefiting everyone,
Exactly.
but it clearly offers so much more than just money.
Yeah.
What about the cultural exchange opportunities?
Really significant. The Thai government's 15 provinces, 15 cuisines initiative is a strategic move using food to globalize Thai culture, recognizing national cuisine as a major cultural expression and tourist draw.
And from the tourist side, food tourism enriches their experience, right?
Yeah.
And can even help conservation or local livelihoods indirectly.
That's the argument. Thailand already ranks highly for its national cuisine globally, making it a prime candidate for food tourism focus.
While a lot of discussion focuses on the food itself, the paper highlights its role as a symbol of identity, a way for cultural exchange.
Exactly. Understanding Thai attitudes towards that exchange role is key for sustainable development. Food culture is understood internationally through practices, what's eaten, the settings. It reflects the community's culture.
And good food experiences can be a gateway to understanding a country and its people, while bad ones can put people off.
Precisely. Attractive foodways enjoyed by visitors get promoted more widely, and Thailand's global fame for hospitality and amazing food gives it a huge head start here.
Despite all this potential, though, there must still be significant challenges facing culinary tourism development in Thailand.
Oh, definitely. The paper points to 7 major interconnected concerns. Things like regulations, competitive pricing, hygiene standards, restaurant organization, getting ingredients efficiently, quality supervision, and promoting things effectively at the local community level. Tackling these is seen as a priority.
And when tourists choose a destination, what factors matter most, according to the research?
It highlights 6 main attributes: properties, like accommodation, the cuisine itself, hospitality, the environment, institutions, like tourism boards, and price. Interestingly, it suggests properties often have a bigger psychological influence than even cuisine or hospitality initially.
Really? What about things like community participation or education?
They seem to have less strategic impact on that first appraisal, surprisingly. The paper characterizes gastronomic tourism development in Thailand as sometimes facing infrastructure planning issues and maybe underdeveloped management skills in some areas.
Also, maybe not a strong enough sense everywhere that tourism is a major economic driver.
Yeah.
And maybe not enough direct competition from nearby regions pushing them harder?
That's suggested too. Plus, the inherent challenge of the time and cost involved in doing thorough research can be a barrier.
And environmental concerns must be high on the list.
Paramount. The impact of tourism on nature, people's sensitivity to sustainability, it's all crucial. Tourism products, including food tourism, need to save energy, minimize waste, reduce travel costs.
The idea of holding food festivals in lesser-known areas sounds interesting. Develop awareness, support the local environment.
Yeah, festivals can be powerful symbols of local character, showing the significance, production, consumption of local food, and local involvement in organizing them is key.
Raising awareness, building confidence in traditional food, passing on heritage, encouraging participation.
All of that. And food tourism products should actively favor protecting the environment, biodiversity, encouraging ecological farming, eco-friendly harvesting, composting.
Maybe even changing farming practices for some products to align with older, more sustainable traditions.
That's suggested. Plus, raising local awareness about preserving biodiversity and, of course, having adequate facilities, hygienic, accessible, helps promote these heritage areas.
Of course, Thailand isn't alone in this. There's competition from other destinations promoting their food cultures too, right?
A growing concern, yes. Thai cuisine has been a big part of Thai tourism for a long time. And online videos, TV shows featuring Thai food have boosted demand for specific dishes. But other cities, other countries are getting strategic about culinary tourism too.
So Thailand needs to keep innovating. Things like best street food rankings, marketing campaigns.
Right. And the paper stresses learning from best practices in other leading food cities to market Thai food effectively for that 2030 goal. Gastronomy is a critical driver for travel globally now. Countries are organizing policies, setting budgets for promotion.
Using all channels to popularize local food and get people to visit.
Exactly. And while more tourism boosts local economies' jobs, taxes gastronomy can sometimes get overshadowed by other tourism types. Maybe less focus on policy or learning from global successes.
But culinary tourism is emerging strongly worldwide, leading to international networks.
Yes. But the paper suggests Thailand's national and regional marketing specifically for gastronomic tourism hasn't quite kept pace with some global trends. This presents a big opportunity, though.
For Thai operators to follow global trends, position Thai food strategically for sustainable tourism development.
Exactly. And there's already a lot of prior research in this area to build on.
Looking ahead then, what are some of the big future opportunities for Thai food tourism? Where's the potential?
Well, the Tourism Authority of Thailand, TAT, is actively bringing stakeholders together to develop strategies, roadmaps, action plans.
There were key meetings focusing on the 2030 goal and provincial perspectives.
Yes. Back in March 2022, it seems the overall national strategies and the more detailed technical action plans are designed to work together, complementing each other.
Creating a cohesive approach.
Right. TAT's coordinating action plan aims to develop and share strategies for effective implementation, ensuring support for the goals, helping the industry transform, and developing the supply side to be more competitive.
And it needs to be flexible, able to adapt, incorporate new ideas.
Crucial. The plan allows for flexibility in scheduling while still being open to new initiatives. The paper sees value in both the big national strategies and the specific tactics at the provincial level to really enhance culinary attractions. Thematic food festivals celebrating regional food are highlighted as one promising way to boost supply-side competitiveness.
And innovations within food tourism itself are also driving things forward.
Absolutely. Think renowned food courts gathering diverse regional foods under policies like one province, one way, one district, one product. That's one example. Or the boom in local food tour packages with easy delivery or pickup options.
What about hands-on stuff? Cooking classes.
Increasingly popular. Workshops where tourists learn to make local dishes, maybe take ingredients home as souvenirs. Unique experiences, too, like boat tours with gourmet meals or farm visits where you pick ingredients and cook them right there.
It really emphasizes that food tourism is more than just eating. Local cuisine carries all this cultural, environmental, social meaning, right? Defines local identity.
Exactly. It's a way to understand local culture, enhance the destination's appeal. Of course, there can be challenges for tourists, maybe spiciness, unfamiliar flavors, or even indirect impacts like from day trips or social issues around food prices or limited clean drinking water in some areas.
But the benefits of a strong local food scene jobs, cultural exchange, demand for local produce seem substantial.
Very much so.
And looking really long term, what are the big sustainability objectives for Thai cuisine tourism?
There's a development vision backed by both the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Tourism and Sports showing collaboration. Of course, the COVID-19 pandemic hit tourism hard everywhere.
Recovery will take time.
Experts think several years for world tourism to fully recover. But this pause also offers a chance for more collaboration between industries to build a more sustainable tourism sector moving forward.
And a lot of the research seems driven by trying to optimize income from both agriculture and gastronomy tourism together.
Right. A key question is how to sustainably advertise Thai food tourism to make it truly world-renowned. Thailand is positioning itself as a nation of gastronomy tourism with diverse offerings. Food tourism is a hot topic for researchers and industry folks, focusing on definitions, stakeholders.
And collaboration between authorities, ministries, professional groups is seen as vital for sustainable planning and continuous improvement.
Absolutely essential.
The paper also mentioned case studies of successful initiatives. What can be learned there?
Well, while Thailand has a strong tourism sector overall, there's a recognized need to brand the country, its destinations, and its food more distinctly and separately.
To maximize appeal.
Exactly. Reaching that top gastronomic destination goal by 2030 needs ongoing government priority, strategic marketing, and reducing internal competition between regions. There's even an interesting idea floated about a government body acting as a trustee of Thainas in Thai dishes.
A trustee to safeguard integrity.
Sort of. Maybe involving a state-level panel, gastronomes, chefs, producers defining essential guidelines for Thai cuisine by consensus, using both science and tradition. The aim is consistency in the experience wherever you encounter Thai food.
And branding needs careful thought. Wording, images, music, sensory stuff that fits Thailand and makes it stand out globally.
Precisely. It needs a coherent and distinctive identity.
Local food festivals seem to play a big part in showcasing regional identity, too.
They do. While the excerpts didn't detail specific festivals in the Andaman or South recently, Tan has a listing page showing their importance. Khon Kaen Food Festival was mentioned as showcasing regional pride. Fixalab Songkla sounds like a collection of district festivals blending food, culture, exhibitions.
There were other unique examples, too, like one focused on a teapot product.
Yeah, the Thai Teapotorial in Phetchaburi, promoting a famous Otiapi product with learning and history. And Palak's Food and Culture, mixing contemporary and traditional foods. The Department of Agricultural Economics is even weighing up yearly province-wide festivals just for local tourists. And the Penang Food Festival in Malaysia is cited as a possible model for large-scale traditional festivals.
And workshops and tours are also key parts of the experience now.
Very much so. We're seeing more tour packages combining cooking classes with visits to well-known local restaurants, often with efficient transport linking them.
And the focus on photo opportunities suggests social media's role in marketing these.
Definitely. Plus, hiring culinary consultants to create tours for lesser-known businesses. These tours often aim for complete restaurant experiences or in-depth classes to boost reputation and highlight specialization. And with the wellness trend, more destinations offer diverse dietary options.
Is there a sustainability angle to workshops, too?
Potentially. They might use less energy than other tourism types, offer chances to discuss conservation, food waste, using energy-efficient equipment, maybe food donation schemes. And partnerships between corporations and culinary schools can align business interests with community and environmental well-being.
And technology must be playing a bigger role in connecting visitors with local cuisine.
Undeniably. It's creating new ways to engage, learn, interact. Better communication, virtual spaces complementing physical ones. Culinary tourism increasingly includes education beyond just tasting like wine tours explaining cultivation.
Technology shapes the experience and how travelers get information. The internet making everything accessible.
Right. Which means destinations need good digital documentation of their food offerings, making it easy for tourists to plan. Gastronomic tourism varies too, depending on the food element and the activity's aim. We see case studies like rankings of restaurants based on food and atmosphere, augmented reality apps for finding food activities, web documentaries from chefs' perspectives.
Even web series representing a city's food scene.
Yeah, lots of digital innovation happening.
What about mobile apps specifically for food exploration?
That's another area. The paper also highlights the need to pay more attention to traditional local food knowledge.
Right, those indigenous foods based on local materials and know-how that aren't fully developed for tourism yet.
Exactly. There's huge potential for innovation and tech to package and market these foods thoughtfully, preserving traditions at the same time.
Like the cow tongue play example, the fish cracker from Chiang Rai. Based on local wisdom, but underdeveloped for tourism.
Right. Given Thailand's tourism revenue, promoting these traditional production processes as cultural tourism seems like a great opportunity. Many countries are trying to popularize local food globally. Understanding complex tourist food habits is key.
Because food is essential for tourists, and many travel specifically to taste local, authentic stuff. Offering chances to learn preparation enhances the experience.
Definitely.
And for people who can travel, virtual culinary experiences seem to be growing.
They are. Food discovery drives culinary tourism, and virtual experiences like kits sent home, live streams can create a sense of place, connect global audiences with local communities, and food. They could become a core part of food tourism, blending physical and virtual.
Cooking classes are a good example, working both ways.
Perfect example. Using frameworks like the Sustainable Culinary Tourism Framework helps understand how physical experiences create that sense of place through sensory, emotional, social effects. Virtual experiences create connection differently, maybe more through global reach. But both connect tourists to local food, boosting local tourism.
And familiarity with heritage cuisine, positive, real dining experiences that strengthens the tourist destination bond, creates lasting memories.
Absolutely. Encourages return visits, positive word of mouth.
Finally, we have to touch on the intersection of culinary tourism and, well, the massive issue of climate change.
Crucial point. Food tourism is globally prevalent, huge economic potential. Thailand's diversity is a strong asset here. Gastronomic tourism drives overall tourism, encourages longer stays. Thailand aims to be a top culinary destination with sustainable development by 2030.
And achieving that involves a policy focusing on the visitor's voice. Safety, sustainability, acceptability, promotion.
Yes, a four-directive policy. It stresses balancing supply and demand, respecting local culture, ensuring tourist acceptability at all stages, and having feedback mechanisms to address local issues, and promoting food attractions through policy.
And adapting to climate impacts is part of this long-term sustainability picture.
Has to be. The paper mentions a Sri Lanka study on climate adaptation and tourism. It highlights the need to understand and prepare for climate change effects, rising temperatures, extreme weather, especially in developing countries where tourism is vital economically.
Assessing impacts, prioritizing risk mitigation, building resilience.
All essential. And the tourism industry itself needs to mitigate its carbon footprint. Understanding adaptation needs is critical, as impacts are already happening.
What about promoting resilience in the food systems themselves?
Also connected, the paper mentions various food system and food sovereignty movements globally focusing on organic local food, fighting food poverty, sustainable urban agriculture. These grassroots movements offer insights into more resilient, equitable food futures.
And it's not just about tech solutions for resilience. Social movements, political economy matter too.
Right. The paper critiques resilience research that overlooks these social and political dimensions of human-environment relationships in food systems.
Ultimately then, the long-term success of culinary tourism in Thailand really seems to hinge on actively involving local communities.
Absolutely critical. They need to be involved in creating and managing culinary tourism attractions, organizing events, managing resources sustainably. Active involvement fosters ownership, ensures benefits are shared more fairly.
So inviting locals to share food origins, involving leaders and suppliers in decisions, that builds ownership.
Exactly. And it's vital to address community concerns about sustainability of resources, culture, traditional knowledge.
Passing on culture and wisdom to the next generation. Documenting local cuisine holistically, words, art, festivals, rituals, food, stories, that's key for preservation and using it in tourism.
Yes, through both formal education and informal community learning.
And engaging all local stakeholders effectively is crucial too.
Definitely. Destination marketing organizations increasingly see local food's potential as an attraction, a medium for cultural expression.
But local food is also a public good, potentially vulnerable to commodification, needs community preservation, local marketing, knowledge exchange to ensure sustainability against non-local competition.
Precisely. Often, local players, chefs, producers, even local government agencies might have minimal influence on promotion. So rediscovering and sharing the stories behind local food products becomes really important to build connection and appeal.
Fostering cooperation between producers, cooking schools, tourism providers seems key for advancing culinary tourism sustainably.
It's all about partnership.
Finally, let's touch on the role of empowering women in food production within the sustainable culinary tourism context.
A vital aspect. Food is fundamental, core to tourism. Especially in places like Thailand, eating local food is a primary tourist activity.
And indigenous food, with its cultural links, really attracts tourists seeking authenticity.
Yes. In regions like the Andaman, local cuisine influenced by specific cultural principles offers unique tourism opportunities. Products like hao tong pla could become community identities and tourism products using local ingredients.
And supporting continuous production of healthy local food helps prevent shortages and increases income for women, especially in rural areas.
Hugely important. Food production can be incredibly empowering for women facing poverty, boosting savings, education access, economic opportunities.
But projects need careful planning, culturally sensitive, involving women, providing infrastructure support, training in production, and marketing.
All crucial. Encouraging farmers, especially rural women, to participate in these integrated projects is vital for rural development and supplying diverse, fresh food to cities.
And this empowerment boosts women's self-worth, confidence, opportunities, leading to societal respect, better education for families.
Exactly. It plays a key role in shaping well-being for current and future generations.
Okay, let's try and pull all this incredibly rich information together.
Yeah.
It's so clear that Thailand has this amazing foundation for culinary tourism, right?
Yeah.
Rooted in culture, history, globally loved food. But getting to that sustainable global destination status by 2030, it's not just about having tasty food, is it?
Not at all. It really demands a holistic, joined-up approach. We're talking about actively promoting sustainable food practices everywhere, tackling waste reduction head-on, embracing those trends in health and experiential dining, implementing supportive government policies, running smart, targeted marketing, and, maybe most importantly, genuinely engaging with local communities every step of the way.
Yeah, that community piece feels absolutely central. There were definitely some aha moments for me digging into this. The way Thai food is so deeply woven into cultural values that really stood out.
Me too.
Also, the potential for seemingly small local things like waste reduction schemes or supporting local sourcing to have such a big positive ripple effect.
All right. It's not always about massive projects, and also just how fast the whole food tourism landscape is changing, driven by health awareness and, well, digital everything.
I bet a lot of you listening are now thinking about specifics. Like, how can local communities really get more involved? Or how can those smaller independent food businesses, the heart of authentic Thai food, actually use digital marketing effectively? Those are definitely key questions for the future.
For sure. And that brings us to our final thought for you to chew on. Considering how dynamic global food trends are and the growing awareness of environmental impacts, how can Thailand best strike that really delicate balance? How can it preserve its authentic culinary heritage while also innovating and catering to a diverse international audience sustainably for the long run? Finding that balance, that, I think, will be the key to truly cementing its place as a world-class culinary destination for years to come. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.